Welcome back. I'm Pratap here. Today is the 26th February 2024. In this video, let us generate in finding the stocks that are supporting bullish and bearish trade setups for monthly income trade and a weekly income trade. Before we generate these reports, a small announcement please. If this is your first visit to our channel, please understand we are providing complete free training on supply demand zone price action. All the training videos I kept in a playlist, Supply Demand Zone Price Action course. I have also provided the link to this playlist in this YouTube video description. You click on the link, you will get into this page, and here scroll down to the bottom of the page, and starting from lesson 1.1, all the training lessons are placed in an order. Please go through all these lessons one by one and strengthen your skills. I have also provided the link to our Telegram channel in this YouTube video description. Please join in the Telegram channel. It will be helpful to you. Each time when we release a new video, we will provide an update at our Telegram channel. Now let's get into report generation. Bullish and bearish trade setups for monthly income trade and weekly income trade. First, let us generate for monthly income trade. In monthly income trade, LTF zone is daily. So our entry time frame is daily. And in bullish trade setup, our entry zone is a demand zone. And in the third parameter, bullish or bearish trade setup, here in the third row. And daily time frame, I am selecting bullish. And while generating, I don't want pierced zones. So let me set the pierced count as 0. So in this page, the last parameter, pierced count. Daily I am setting 0, 0. Now only stocks having pierced count 0 will be displayed. And because bullish setup gives big number of list, the reason is currently market is near all-time high. So let us add some more filters. One is reward, a minimum reward. This minimum range represents the reward. So the minimum reward on daily time frame, let us say 3%, minimum 3. So maybe stocks above 3%, 4%, 5% we can get. But at least minimum 3% reward should be there. And apart from this, we will also find the stocks near to the demand zone. How much near? For that we have to generate multiple reports. First we will check minimum 1% to the demand zone. For that the field maximum price percent to reach the zone. So that should be within 1%. We will generate 3 reports within 1%, within 2% and within 3%. If within 1% we have a big list, we will stop. Within 1% any stocks are there, there are higher chances we may get an entry tomorrow. We have 5 stocks, in that first 2 are indices, and we have 3 stocks. But remember, in this list, all are moving either towards the supply zone or they are moving towards the all-time high. This is the price direction of our entry zone. Signal type indicates the price direction in our entry zone, that is demand zone. From demand zone, they are moving towards the supply zone. If they change the direction and come to the demand zone tomorrow, we will get an entry. And most of you may not be trading if the test count is more than 0. So here see, all these zones are already tested. That means probably they might have given an entry maybe today. We don't know. If any of these stocks are there in our yesterday's list, probably today you would have got an entry. That's why the test count is 1 in all these, most of these stocks. But anyway, let us look for more stocks, because I know most of you are in favor, supporting only test count 0, that is fresh zones. If it is high liquidity zones, we support multiple testing. Without confirmation of the high liquidity zone, taking second entry might be quite risky. Sometimes it will work, but sometimes it is quite risky. So that is the reason why we will go back, we will generate the second report The only parameter we are going to change, near 2% to the demand zone. The maximum price percent to reach the zone should be 2%. Let us check how many stocks are there. Now 8 stocks are filtered. Here few stocks are having a zone test count is 0, fresh zones. Tata Communication is a fresh zone, but it is moving towards the all-time high. If tomorrow it changes the direction and give an entry, you will get an entry. And what else? You have one more, Indigo also is there. All these are all bullish trade setup. Now let us check one more. Now let us check near 3% to that zone. Maximum price percent to reach within 3%. That means if the price is down by 3% tomorrow, you will get an entry. Now you got a big list. Probably this is good enough for you. All these are all having a minimum reward 3%. Maximum even more, even 9%, 20% also there are some stocks. But if you see risk reward, sometimes you may feel like your RR is very small. Remember here the risk I calculated from wick to wick. That is type 1 proximal line to distal line I have calculated. Obviously risk will be high. You need to look for whether what is the risk for type 2. If type 2 risk is also high, you know how to fine tune the zone. In lesson 16 zone confluence I explained how to fine tune the zone and we can reduce the risk. Even not only risk point of view, fine tuning the zone is important to check the quality of the zone, because we know when a zone will be violated. If you identify well in advance this zone will be violated, you don't take trade in that zone. That's why it is a compulsory for everybody to do fine tuning the zone, to check the quality of the zone. If the quality of the zone is good and you have good risk reward, then only you will take the entry. So here some of the stocks are moving towards the demand zone. For example, Birla Soft is moving towards the demand zone. If tomorrow if the stock is down by 3%, you will get an entry. Hero Motorcorp also moving towards the demand zone, but it should fell down by 3% tomorrow to get an entry. JSW Steel is also moving towards the demand zone. Manapuram is also moving towards the demand zone. And remaining stocks either moving to all-time high or they are moving to supply zone. But in any of these stocks might change the direction tomorrow and give an entry. That possibility is there. So look for the stocks having a test count 0. See, fresh zone, 100% fresh zone means test count should be 0, rejection count also should be 0. But the advantage of the rejection count is it indicates the zone is having a strong order flow. That's why a lot of rejections are coming from that zone. If you fine tune the zone properly, in some of the lower time frame zones, you may find maybe zones having strong order flows. That way you have to, anyway, once I teach that rejections concept, you will get clarity. Actually, I planned in the third phase of the training program, rejection count. But let me check if there is any possibility I will move that topic to second phase of our training. Okay, this is a bullish trade setup for monthly income trade. Now let us generate bearish trade setup for monthly income trade. Monthly income trade, bearish trade setup, your entry time frame should be daily, but entry zone should be supply zone. And in bullish or bearish trade setup parameter and daily, this time you have to select bearish. And we don't want P-hazard zones because we don't trade on the P-hazard zones. So I'm setting on daily time frame, P-hazard count 0, 0. That's it. I'm not setting any other filters. The reason is bearish trade setups, we get very few stocks because currently market is near all-time high. Bearish trade setups, very rarely you find. See, only one stock is there. Last few days, this same stock is getting listed. Currently, it is moving towards the supply zone. Moreover, this is a high liquidity supply zone, fresh zone. If the quality of the zone is good, while fine tuning the zone, you have to check. If the quality of the zone is good, it is going to be a very good entry for you. But it is traveling because see 11.42% reward is there from demand zone. It has to, currently it is traveling. Currently what is the price? 489. This is the closing price, today's closing price. And what is the low of the supply zone? 526. That means another 36 rupees upward movement should complete to get into this zone. Anything might happen in between, right? That's why a lot of patience is required when you are looking for a monthly income trade and weekly income trade. Okay, this is about a bearish trade setup. So bearish trade setup for monthly income trade. Now let us move on to weekly income trade, bullish trade setup. In weekly income trade, bullish trade setup, your entry time frame is 75 minutes. Because it is bullish trade setup, entry zone is demand zone. In bullish or bearish trade setup, this time we have to look for 75 minutes. In 75 minutes, we are selecting bullish. Now, and again you get a lot of stocks. Currently market is near all-time high. Many stocks supports bullish trade setup. Let us set some parameters to filter a minimum list, best list. The first filter we have to set, we don't want pierced zones. So at 75 minutes, I am setting pierced count 0. This is the first. Second parameter, reward, minimum 2% reward let us look for. That is 75 minutes demand zone to 75 minutes supply zone or all-time high, minimum 2%, maximum can be anything. So for that minimum reward, we have to use minimum range percent. At 75 minutes time frame, I am setting the value 2, minimum 2%. And near to the demand zone, that is maximum price percent to reach the zone, I am setting at 75 minutes 1%. That means first let us filter stocks very close to the demand zone. Because the advantage is there are higher chances that these zones may get into we may get an entry in these zones tomorrow. So 1% near to the demand zone, how many stocks are there? Oh, 8 stocks. Definitely you may get an entry in one of these stocks. First one is Nifty Healthcare, it is it is an indices. See, if you want to buy Nifty Healthcare, you can buy by using a ETF, exchange traded funds. You have Bs are there, like Nifty B, Bank B, you will be finding some indices, some ETFs. Check in the NSE website, you will get the list. All these are all moving towards the supply zones, all-time high. Only one stock, Tata Steel, is moving towards the demand zone. It is only 1% near to the zone currently. And moreover, this demand zone is a fresh zone. But only thing is you need to fine tune the zone to check the quality of the zone. If the quality is good, you can take a trade. And what is the risk? 0.92. This is week to week risk. The risk is calculated from week to week. That means distal line to proximal type 1. The zone higher wick to zone lower wick. The Tata Steel, 0.92%. And if you reduce this risk either to the type 2 entry or maybe one of the fine-tuned zone at 15 minutes or 5 minutes area, probably your risk will be minimized. You get a very good reward. Already it is having close to 3% reward, 1:3 reward, very close. Not exactly 1:3, but close to that. The moment you reduce the risk, maybe another 4% or 5%, probably you may get 1:5 reward also you will get. Or close to 1:5 reward you might get. So currently this is the only one stock moving towards the demand zone. Remaining all are moving towards the supply zone or all-time high. It doesn't mean you won't get entry. Sometimes what happens? The prices all of a sudden they change the direction for temporarily, they give an entry in the demand zone, again they will be started moving up. So that's why you have to keep an eye on all these stocks. Let us check near 2% any stocks are there. So minimum 2% near to that zone. That is maximum price percent to reach the zone. Currently we set 1. Now within 2%, close to the demand zone. That is what the meaning. Now the list is increased to 14. Now you got one more stock, Federal Bank, towards the demand zone. Moreover, it is a high liquidity demand zone and a fresh zone. Only thing you need to check the quality of the zone. The quality of the zone, how you will check? By fine tuning. You already learned in lesson 16 how to fine tune. From 75 you have to go to inside 75 you have to go to 15-minute zone. If the quality of the 15 minutes is good, again inside the 15 you need to look for 5-minute zone. If the quality is good, the zone is good. But do you want to take entry at the 75 minutes level or fine-tuned area? That is up to you. Because sometimes, to the fine-tuned area, prices may not reach. Before itself, the prices will get into the zone and it will change the direction and move up. Why it won't go fine-tuned area sometimes? Because this is a bullish trade setup. Bullish trade setup, mostly the trades will be very aggressive towards the up direction. So that's why properly you should plan your trade. So many times at least you get prices up to type 2 proximal of 75 minutes. Of 75 minutes, type 2 proximal they will reach many times. So that's why do properly, reduce the risk, and here also see 0.91, 0.29. If you, this is a type 1 proximal risk. If you reduce to type 2 proximal, you may get more reward. Probably you may get 1:3 or 1:4 reward. Even sometimes you may get even 1:5 reward also you will get. Currently, these are the two stocks moving towards the demand zone, Federal Bank and Tata Steel. Remaining all are moving either towards all-time high or supply zone. But still there is a higher chances. Some of these stocks, tomorrow they change direction, give you an entry. Okay, let us limit to this 2%. This list is good enough. Now what we will do, let us generate bearish trade setup for weekly income trade. Weekly income trade, LTF time frame is 75 minutes. Our entry zone should be supply zone, bearish trade setup. In bullish or bearish trade setup parameter at 75 minutes time frame, I am selecting bearish. The only such parameter I will set here is pierced zones. I don't want pierced zones. Let us set pierced count. Mostly you may get a small list only. If the list is big, we will come back and we will find the stocks near demand zone, 75 minutes demand zone. You got a very small list. One stock is moving towards the supply zone and remaining stocks are moving towards the demand zone. If you want to get an entry in these zones, they should change the direction. Only Nifty FMCG indices and Nifty Media, these are the two indices. So this is the total list. Here you need to look for supply zones only, because this is bearish trade setup. In bearish trade setup, our entry is at supply zones. Don't forget. Don't get confusion by seeing into pierced zone. We set 0 pierced count for supply zones, not for the demand zones. See here, we selected entry zone as supply zone. So the filter will be applied only for supply zone. That is the reason why for all supply zones, pierced count is 0. But demand zones, there are some pierced zones are there. If pierced zones are there, it is an advantage for us because we may get more reward. Mostly in the pierced zones, next time when prices are crossing that zone, easily they will pass through that zone. Okay, so this is about stocks that are currently supporting bullish and bearish trade setup for monthly income trade and weekly income trade. So let us take a break here and we'll continue from here in the next video. Thank you.